Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is James Quintero. I represent the Texas Public Policy Foundation. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of SB 1449. The bill before the committee eliminates the disaster tax loophole, or at least the introduced version does, which some local governmental entities are using to raise taxes excessively without voter approval. And the need for this type of legislation was most recently on display in Harris County, where, of course, officials raised their tax rate by 9.53% for FY 2025. That yielded an additional $264 million for the county and forced the average resident to accept a $257 tax hike without their consent. While Harris County's example is, of course, the most high profile, I suggest that it's not the only one. In fact, several school districts, including my high school alma mater, Cypress Fairbanks ISD, but also Judson, Rusk, and Huffman ISDs, either considered or took advantage of the disaster tax to raise taxes beyond that voter approval threshold. Those examples are, of course, showcased in the handouts that you've been provided. It's worth noting that the situation at Huffman ISD actually drew the attention of Texas State Representatives Briscoe Cain and Charles Cunningham, who joint authored a letter to the school board expressing concern over both the proposal to increase the property tax by an alarming 25%, as well as the 8 a.m. hearing scheduled to finalize the rate adoption. All of this evidence suggests that legislative reform is warranted to protect taxpayers from excessive taxation without voter approval. For that reason, I want to encourage the committee to look favorably on this proposal. I want to thank you for your time as well.
All right, thank you.
Chairman, let's start with James. James, let's use Harris County because I want both the judges to hear how bad this is, okay, because it's horrible, okay? You said that there was a $250 million increase. This is due to Hurricane Beryl, okay? Now, that's just one of 4 county jurisdictions, okay? The total amount of tax rate increase was 15%. Now, let me tell you what the damage to Hurricane Beryl was. The power went off. There was, unfortunately, some loss of life, I believe, but compared to a normal storm that Victoria's taken, it's pretty much a Gulf Category 1 hurricane. Now, this got convoluted into a disaster of property tax increase of $400 million, 15%. And the tax roll was only up 0.3%. This is all tax rate increase because of this disaster exemption. Now, I have approximately 1.7 million irate taxpayers in Harris County as a result, including one of them is Lieutenant Governor. And everyone is irate at what happened because that tax increase was $312 on the average home. Now, my total, as Carl mentioned before, SB 2 from 2023 was $1,312, okay? And we had, I think, gone down about $900 due to 2 years of appraised value increases. So the Commissioner's Court, in one fell swoop, took out 1/3 of that tax rate. But wait, there's more, okay? Because they didn't tell the public the truth on how much this was, because one of the taxing jurisdictions was the flood control district, and they had an election. But the county judge went around telling everybody that the increase was not 14 or 15%, it was 8%, because she decided that the rollback rate is what she would say publicly, and not the actual tax rate increase. The public passed at 5149. And I'll submit to anybody listening, especially to Harris County who is listening, that there's no fact or supposition of fact that if the county judge had told the truth and said this was 15% tax rate increase, that even people would have voted for the flood control district, which was really all the sugar plums of this increase in one. Am I missing something?
No, I think you're spot on, Chairman. And you know, here, what really sticks in my craw is the fact that if the Harris County Commissioners Court actually wanted a 15% increase, they can still get that under the current dynamic, minus the loophole, if they go and ask for the public's permission. Our local government officials have every ability and opportunity to raise the money they need with public permission.
Now, Larry, Ben, we're going to